Dr. Ian here. I want to talk to you about our gut microbiome today and how important it is to our health. The way it's maintained are through trillions and trillions of beneficial bacteria. And that helps to protect our gut lining. It helps to balance out our chemistry. It helps to uphold the integrity of the overall gut function, and it protects our entire system. So it truly is the foundation of our health. So I want to talk about specifically the bugs. There are literally trillions of these bugs, and there are a variety of them and different species, but it helps to protect us. And you want to continue to support it. But the problem is because of our standard American diet, the fast-paced lifestyles that we live in, it affects the balance because it's a precious balance between the beneficial and opportunistic bacteria. The ratio should be a high level of beneficial bacteria compared to your opportunistic or pathogenic bacteria. You want it to have that ratio so that it can suppress the bad guys. So anytime the bad guys outrun the good guys, and that's problematic when that ratio starts to change in that matter. And when that happens, you start feeling the effects of it. You can start having some acid reflux or stomach pains, stomach bloating where you have distension, constipation, diarrhea. All those effects can be caused by an imbalance of those bugs. So you really want to be considerate of your gut health in that you want to make sure that your lifestyle is appropriate. For instance, if you're not sleeping through the night, or if you're totally stressed out, that can definitely have a negative impact on the beneficial bacteria and perpetuate the growth of the bad guys or the bad bacteria. And when that happens, that's when you start having those types of effects and start having damage to the gut lining and potentially the motility of the excretory organ functioning appropriately. So you want to make sure that you're perpetuating and feeding the beneficial bacteria with healthy foods. You want to make sure you eat plenty of fresh vegetables. You can even have steamed vegetables, clean proteins, and that will help to feed the beneficial bacteria and avoid feeding the negative. Now, eating sugary foods, foods high in carbohydrates, foods that are processed or packaged, well, that's going to feed into the bad guys, you see. And that's the problem with our standard American diet, especially if we're eating fast foods all the time or packaged foods or foods that are rich in sugars, starches. For instance, eating pasta, breads, that will perpetuate the bad guys, so then it will feed into that ratio. So you want to make sure that you're eating plenty of healthy foods. Now, if you do have compromise and you have any of those symptoms that I mentioned, what you can do is you can overload, or not so much overload, but feed the beneficial bacteria with trillions of probiotics by eating fresh fermented foods. And these fermented foods will contribute and perpetuate the beneficial bacteria and hopefully will outrun the opportunistic bacteria if you truly do have an imbalance. So we want to make sure you're eating plenty of those fermented vegetables like sauerkraut or kimchi. There's plenty of probiotic type drinks now that you can get at the store. One of my favorites is called KeVita brand. And KeVita brand has a lot of different flavors. So depending on the source of the flavoring, the fruits or vegetables that they utilize will have different types and strains of probiotics. And so that's very beneficial. The other thing you can do is take a capsule. There's high quality probiotics, 50 to 300 to 500 billion count. There's some large quantities depending on what your needs are. And so there's a lot of natural remedies you can take versus taking a PPI or some type of acid blocker, which will tend to perpetuate the problem that you're having. So it's really, really important that that you minimize the stress levels, that you're sleeping through the night, that you're eating a well-balanced diet, and exercising also helps with that. So continue to follow my channel for further videos regarding gut health.